Okay, so good evening, everyone. I think I'm audible and visible to all of you. So please confirm, guys, if I'm audible and visible. Yeah, so that we can start with the class. Okay, Soeb, yes, Afifa, yes, Kaushal, good evening, everyone, good evening. Yeah, so shall we start with the class, guys, everyone? Yeah, okay, so let's start basically. So, any idea what we are going to discuss today? Yeah, anyone? Okay. So NumPy, more on NumPy, yes. So that is something that we are going to discuss today. So let's start with the discussion. And along with NumPy, so I'll be talking about even some of the graph library. For example, a matplotlib, seaborn, plotly. And at the end of this class, you all will feel like all these libraries are same. And whatever kind of a graph that we would like to plot, so we'll be able to plot it if we have a data understanding. So, sir, you're looking changed. Okay, so thanks for that. So let's start, guys. Let's start, everyone. Yeah. So try to open up your VS Code, and inside that you can try to create a Jupyter notebook. So I'm going to create a Jupyter notebook with numpy.ipynb, and yeah, so I'm going to do a coding over here. And along with that, so I believe till last week I have already given you assignments. So I'm assuming that you all are doing your assignment on a very, very serious note. All of you are, because that is the only way by which you will be able to learn programming, right? So programming is all about doing practice. Along with that, so if someone would like to learn maybe DSA, so I think Ram sir is already taking a class for Python with DSA, and I think it's been a long time since he's taking classes Python with DSA. So maybe you can go and you can try to learn. And in a future, not in a like a mm, long, I would say, but yeah. So in a future, so we'll try to bring more and more DSA classes as well. Well, looking great. Thank you so much, Praveen. Yeah. So now let's start. And one more update from my side on Euron system. So basically, by this Wednesday, as per the response which I have received from my team member. So, for example, if this is your batch, right, and these are the classes which is going on, so probably in this by Wednesday, this week itself, by Wednesday or max to max by Thursday. So you all will be able to see a lectures transcript. And along with a lecture transcript, you will be able to see even a lecture summary. So let's suppose if you are not able to join a class, but you would like to understand that what and all things which has been discussed inside a class, just by looking into those summaries, you all will be able to understand. Plus we are providing you a actual raw file for a transcript as well, so that you can download those files and maybe you can try to use those files going forward to train your models. So, and again, we have like a tons of lectures on a platform, so we are like making sure that in coming time, so this transcript will be available for all of the videos that we have uploaded, which is going to be an amazing feature. And along with that, so you will be able to see a quiz and assignments inside a dashboard itself. So as of now, in a resource section, I'm uploading assignments, and quiz I'm not uploading so far, but yeah, so very soon you all will be able to see quiz and assignment both in a dashboard. So we have already integrated that system in our dev environment, and soon by this week you will be able to see it in a production environment. That's a small update from my side, basically. Now let's start with the class. So here, let me select a kernel so that we can start doing our coding. So 1 plus 1, yeah, and it's working. Okay. So I'll be using this kernel, and let's try to understand first of all NumPy. And like I said, so we'll try to understand even some of the graph or library which we can try to use to plot a graph. So matplotlib, seaborn, there is something called as pandas plot, There is something called as Plotly. So all of these library will try to understand, and eventually you will be able to find out that all of these libraries are more or less same. And if we are able to finish that off today, then tomorrow, so I'm going to start with statistics basically, because that is going to be the next chapter as per your syllabus. So stats we are going to start, and there is a lot to understand, and there is a lot to revise in terms of statistics. A lot of concept we have studied maybe in our childhood, but we are not able to recall. So we'll try to recall all of those statistical thing, which is going to help us and which is going to work as a building block for our upcoming chapters, machine learning chapters, and all the chapters which is going to come into a picture. So fine, let's start. So first of all, what I will do, I'll try to import a NumPy, import, import NumPy as NP. Fine, everyone. So installation wise, if it is giving you some issue, for example, module not find NumPy. So in that case, I think we all know the solution. Pip install NumPy and it will be able to install it. Now, NumPy is basically a numerical Python. That is a full form of a NumPy. And in general, NumPy is going to deal with array and a matrices, right? This is what we have already discussed in my previous class. So here, if I have to create maybe a NumPy array, so I can simply call NumPy array. I can try to pass a list of values and it will be able to create a NumPy array. So for example, I'm going to create it and maybe I can try to store it inside a variable called as ARR array, let's say, right? And if I'm going to check what is a type of this array, so technically it's a NumPy ND array. ND array means n dimensional array. So whatever arrays, whatever matrices that you are going to create, obviously it will be having a dimensions, right? So 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, n dimensions. So I can try to create, and I believe I already talked about that dimension part as well. So let's suppose this is basically one of the array. Now, if I would like to check that for this array, ARR, right? So what is a shape of this array? So shape of this array is 3. There are 3 data, right? Then for this particular array, if I'll try to check ndim. So number of dimension basically for this particular array. So what is the dimension of this array? This dimension of this array is basically 1. And that you all will be able to observe just by looking into a initial bracket. So number of bracket in a initials is basically 1, right? It simply means that it's a one dimensional array basically. Now here, so let's suppose if I'm going to create a numpy dot array, and instead of putting one data, so what I can do, I can try to put a data inside a data in this manner, right? Data inside a data. So here I can try to put maybe 1 comma 2 comma 3, and then here I can try to put maybe 4 comma 5 comma 6. So this is basically a two-dimensional array. As you can see, initials are how many arrays? Two arrays, right? So initials is basically two, like a bracket. So it simply means that it's a 2D array. If I have to check, so maybe I can try to hold it inside a variable ARR1, and then I can try to check ARR1 dot ndim. So number of dimension is basically 2, right? Number of dimension is going to be 2. As simple as that. So this is something that you all will be able to represent. Now inside NumPy, there are some inbuilt function, right? There are some inbuilt function which is going to, help you out in terms of creating this arrays, or you can say a matrices. So the very first function which I would like to introduce over here is called as numpy dot zeros. So let's suppose if we are writing numpy dot zeros and we are trying to pass 3 comma 3, right? 3 comma 3. So you will be able to find out that it's a two-dimensional array it has created of size what? 3 rows and 3 columns. As simple as that, right? So 3 rows and 3 columns it is able to create. Now let's suppose if I'm going to use a same function and I'm going to say that 3 comma 3 comma 2. So what will happen? It is going to create technically a three-dimensional array. Just see a signature, initial one, or maybe a final one. So there are 3 brackets, right? There are 3 brackets. So this is something is going to be 3 dimension. So here I'm just trying to pass a size, or we can say a shape I'm trying to pass over here. And what is the meaning of this shape? Let's try to understand that part. So when I say 3, 3 and 2, so it simply means that I have 3 cross 2 array, right? I have 3 cross 2 array, and how many such arrays we have? So we have basically three such arrays, or you can say matrices, right? You can say matrices. So here you will be able to find out that we have this, we have this, and we have this. What is a dimension? So 3 rows, 2 column, 3 rows, 2 columns, 3 rows, 2 columns. And zeros means all the values are going to be by default 0. So here it is trying to create 3 cross 2, 3 such arrays, and dimension is going to be 3, right? Dimension is going to be 3. In practical, you can say that I'm trying to create something like this, one behind another. So in this manner, I'm trying to create a data. So just like a book, or maybe like a copy that we have, right? So we keep on, turning those pages. So one page after another, after another, after another. So you can think in that particular manner. So we have one layer, then behind that we have one layer, behind that we have another layer. Now, let's do a couple of more experiments over here. So let me copy the same thing, and maybe I can try to keep 4. Yeah, 4. Now here again, you will be able to find out a 3D array, right? 3D array. And here you will be able to find out that we have 3 cross 2, 4 such arrays. As simple as that. So we have 4 such arrays into a 3 dimension. So this is what it means. This is what you all will be able to create. Or you can say a 3 cross 2 matrices and 4 such matrices we have in our hand in a 3D space. Now here, like numpy dot zeros we have. So we have numpy dot ones. Ones means it is going to basically create all the values with 1. This is what it means. So here, let me like, do it in this manner. So let's suppose I'm going to pass to 3 cross 5. So we have 3D, right? We have 3D and 3 cross 5 matrices, as you can see over here. So 3 rows, right? 3 rows and 5 columns, right? 5 columns. So 3 comma 5. And how many such matrices we have? 2. So one is this into a 3D space. This is what it means, right? This is what it means. As simple as that. Now, so moving ahead. Yeah. Now, so here what we can do, so there is a function called as numpy dot full function. So what full does, by the way, so full means you can try to select a dimension. So for example, if I'm going to select a dimension, maybe 2 cross 3, right? And then if I'm going to say that fill the entire value by 10. So it is going to create 2 row, 3 column in a 2D space. It's a 2D, right? And then it is going to fill all the values with 10. So here we had zeros, we had ones, and with any other values, if I would like to create this kind of arrays, then obviously I will be able to do that as well in any dimension. So maybe I'm writing 3 cross 3. So we have 3 cross 3, right? And how many? 2. Right? How many? 2. So 2 like a matrices we have over here. This is the meaning of this dimension. Now, so moving ahead, there is something called as numpy dot I. So I is equals to 4 means it is going to create 4 cross 4 identity matrices. And in a diagonal, all the values are going to be 1. This is what is called as identity matrices. So obviously for identity matrices, determinant is going to be 1, and this is what it is going to create it, right? So there is a function called as I, and in a childhood, the kind of identity matrix that we have discussed, or we used to know. So it's trying to replicate the exact same thing over here. As simple as that. Now, these are just an inbuilt function, by the way, inside a NumPy, nothing much. And these are the obvious function that we all are supposed to know, because all of these functions, we will be using it in terms of doing a data manipulation. Because whenever we have to pass a data to a model or to a neural network, so obviously we have to convert all of those data into a matrices or into an array. And then only we will be able to pass those data. And this is where these things are going to come into a picture. Now there is an interesting function which you will end up using again and again and again, called as numpy dot random dot rand. And let's suppose if I'm writing 3 cross 2. So it is going to create 3 cross 2 matrices. And here values are going to be between 0 to 1, random values. So numpy dot random dot rand, right? So values are going to be always in between 0 to 1 if I'm using a rand function over here. So rand is again a inbuilt function. Then there is something called as numpy dot random dot rand, I would say int, right? So here I can try to basically write something like this. So here I'm trying to say that try to create 3 cross 2 array, right? Or matrices, by the way. So 3 cross 2 matrices. So 3 row and 2 column, and value inside these, it's supposed to be between 1 to 10. So randomly it is going to select a values between 1 to 10. It is going to be random one for me. For you it's not going to be same. Even if I'm going to re-execute, see, value has changed, right? Even if I'm going to re-execute, value has changed over here. So this is what a rand int does. It is going to generate a random integer between a particular scale that you are going to give, which we are going to use it for a data normalization in many cases, basically. So when we will be dealing with the actual data set. So again, this is just generating a random integer based on the given range that we have, and whatever size that we have given over here, so that I will be able to create that kind of a matrices or that kind of a arrays at any point of a time. Is it making sense to all of us, guys? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So these are basically a very simple function, a very basic function that you will end up using. And likewise, there are 10,000 functions which is available. No need to remember any of these functions, because at the end of the day, you will end up dealing with array and a matrices. So it's completely fine. You are supposed to be aware about a library, and you are supposed to be just aware about that. Okay, this is what it does, and then move on. As simple as that. Nothing much. Yeah, nothing much. Now, let's suppose if I'm going to create an array, maybe numpy dot array, right, over here, and 1 2 3. So this is the value, and let's suppose I'm going to store it inside the variable arr. Now if I'm going to do arr into, right, arr into 10, what it will do? So it is eventually going to multiply each and every element. So whatever element that we have inside the array, so it is going to multiply each and every element with this value. Yeah, with this value. So array into 10, and this is what I will be able to see. This is what I will be able to get. Let's suppose if I'm writing array divided by 0. Any idea what will happen? Yeah, array divided by 0. Error it is going to give, right? Yes, everyone. It is supposed to give me error. Yeah, 0 division error. Yeah. Yes, everyone. Okay. Execute. So here it is giving me some response as well. INF, 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 infinity, right? So I think if you remember, so when I was talking about exception handling, at that point of time, I told you that in core Python, it generally gives you zero division error. But when you are going to use a library called as NumPy, and if you are going to do this operation over there, there is a keyword called as INF. So this is what it is. INF. Yeah. So I hope this makes sense. So it is giving me runtime error. I'm not saying that it's not giving me runtime error, but yeah, not in that manner, right? So not in that manner as a error log. It is giving me some output as well. So INF, 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 it is trying to give it to me. Fine. Now, so let's suppose I have maybe like a array ARR, and if I'm going to do ARR plus, so plus 4, so it is going to add 4 in all the element. So simple, it is going to broadcast this 4 value to all the element which is available inside my array. As simple as that. Yeah, as simple as that, it is going to broadcast those value to all the arrays. Now, so inside like a NumPy, you will be able to find out that there are so many inbuilt mathematical function which is available. So for example, if I have an array, right, and if I would like to find out a square root of all the elements, yeah, a square root of all the elements, it's very simple. NumPy sqrt, where is my sqrt? Yeah, a square root, and then I can pass my data, which is my array. It is going to give me a square root of each and every element. Very simple, right? Let's suppose if I would like to find out a exponent of basically, right? Exponent of this array. Done. I will be able to find out. Let's suppose I would like to find out a logarithmic of base 10 or base 2 or base any other things. I will be able to find out that as well for each and every like element which is available inside my array. Let's suppose there is like a data inside my array and I would like to find out the average of all the data. So I can call mean directly and I will be able to get that as well. Fine. Let's suppose I would like to find out a median, right? Median of this entire data set of this array data. I will be able to find out median as well. Let's suppose I would like to find out the standard deviation. I will be able to find out the standard deviation of all the data as well. Let's suppose if I'm looking for summation of all the element. Yeah. So numpy dot sum, and here I will be able to get a summation of all the data. Let's suppose I'm looking for a minimum of all the data which is available inside my array. I can get that as well. Let's suppose if I'm looking for a maximum of all the data, max, where is my max? Okay, of array, I will be able to get that as well. So why I'm trying to show you these operations? A very simple reason, a very simple example. I'm just trying to show you that on top of array, whatever primitive or basic mathematical operation that you would like to perform, for that function is already available. So you are not supposed to go and write a custom function. It's a numerical Python package, NumPy, right? NumPy, numerical Python package. So with respect to all the numerical and a mathematical calculation, even a complex one, people have already created a function for us, which is going to make my life easy. Yeah, obviously, if I have to create a custom function, I can go and I can try to create it. There's like no one who is going to stop you for that. But yeah, so even if you don't want to do that, so there are a lot of functions, a lot of functionality which is already available, which you can go and you can try to directly use it. And eventually you will be able to do the task. Making sense to all of us, guys? Yeah, making sense? Fine. Simple. I mean, like all these functions are not new for us, but yeah, I'm just trying to show you that these functions are available inside a NumPy, which you can directly consume as per your use cases. As simple as that. Okay. Now, so here there is another function I would like to discuss. So I think we all are aware about a function, range function, right? So we know that range function generates a data, right? Range function generates a data. So if I'm going to wrap it up inside maybe a list, I will be able to see my data set as well. So here we all know that it is going to generate a data starting from 1 go till 10 excluding 10, and it is going to produce a data for me. So 1 to 9 it is able to produce a data for me. In case of NumPy, right? In case of NumPy, so inside a NumPy library, there is a similar kind of a function which is available, or I can say that function which is available inside NumPy is more sophisticated, more powerful function as compared to a range function. For example, here I can say NumPy dot, there is a function called as a range. Yeah, a range 1 to 10. I'm able to produce a data. Yeah, I'm able to produce a data. Logic is same, start from 1, go till 10, excluding upper bound, which is 10. Now here I can try to give a jump, right? I can try to give a jump and yeah, so it is able to take a jump of the data. Now let's suppose I would like to give a jump of zero point 0.5. It's working, right? So I can try to give a jump. I can try to give a step size basically, right? I can try to give a step size even in a fraction, even as a floating point number. Whereas if I'll talk about this range function, which we have already discussed and used it, if I'm going to write zero point 0.5 over here, it is not going to work. It is not going to support. It is just going to support a numeric, sorry, integer, right? It is just going to support a integer step size. But here in case of NumPy, the function with the name a range, which is similar to a range function that we have already discussed. But yeah, so here you will be able to take a jump of even in terms of a floating point number. So as the pandas is only deal with the data frames, rows and column, did the NumPy only deal with the array item? Yeah, so NumPy actually deal with array and matrices, basically. That's true, Praveen. Fine, everyone? Yes? Okay. Now, so a range, and this is the data it is able to produce. So much of data it is able to produce, right? So much of data it is able to produce. Let me like remove a jump size for now, right? And let me produce our data, 12 data over here. Okay, so this is our data we are able to produce. Let's store this data into variable ARR, array variable, fine. Now, if I'm going to show you array ARR, right? So this is my data. Now, if I'm going to show you ARR dot shape, so shape is basically 11. Yeah. Now, if I'm going to do ARR dot ndim, number of dimension is going to be 1. It's a 1D, right? Okay. Now, there is a provision. There is a provision, and this function you will be using more frequently, I would say, right? You can try to reshape your data. You can try to reshape your data. Now, what does that mean? Let me show you that part as well. So here, array dot, sorry, so there is, array dot reshape. Now, if I would like to reshape a data into 3 cross 4, means I just would like to like represent this entire data into 3 cross 4. Yeah, in 3 cross 4, I would like to represent. Now, if I have to create 3 cross 4 matrices, right? If I have to represent this data into a 3 cross 4 matrices, how many data is required, by the way? To represent this data into 3 cross 4, how many data is required? Everyone is saying, Afifa is saying 12, Mano is saying 12, everyone is saying now, Praveen, Suham, everyone is saying 12. And how many data do we have, by the way? I think I have already like printed a shape 11. Yeah. And that is the reason cannot reshape an array of size 11 into a shape 3 cross 4 because 3 cross 4 required 12 data. Yeah, 12 data. And I have 11. And that's a problem, right? That's a problem. And because of that, so I'm not able to reshape it. Okay, cool. Not an issue. I will generate more data then. So here I'll like keep 13. Now I'm able to reshape those data. 3 cross 4, 3 row, 4 column. Yeah, 3 row, 4 column. I'm able to reshape this particular data. So technically, you will be able to reshape this data into 2 dimension, into 3 dimension, into 4 dimension, into 10 dimension, right? But as per your reshape like a value that you are giving, you must have a data. For example, this is a 2D record, right? This is a 2D array, a 2D matrices I'm able to create. Now here, I'm going to write, so 12 data I have, right? So 12 data I have. So maybe I can try to write 1 cross 2 cross 6. So 6 into 12, 12 into 1 is equal to 12, right? So fine. Here I'm able to create a 3D, right? 3D. So where I have one matrices with shape 2 row 6 column. So yes, we have one matrix. So of shape what? 2 row 6 columns, right? So this is the data in which we are able to reshape. Same data we are able to reshape. We are not like producing some new data. So any array I will be able to reshape in any dimension. Again, this reshape function is pretty much useful in deep learning, machine learning, computer vision, everywhere. Believe me, everywhere. So these are the some like I said. So there are 10,000 functions like available inside the NumPy, but these are the functions which you all are going to use it inside a class as well as into a real life while dealing with the data. And these functions are not very difficult. It's very, very easy to understand actually, right? It's very, very easy to understand over here. Now, so let's suppose I'm trying to call a reshape, right? And I'm going to give -1, execute. So -1, it is going to behave as a placeholder. So 1 cross 2, right? And total number of data inside my array is 12. So 1 cross 2, 2. And total data 12 divided by this. And whatever like a factor you will be able to get. So that will be replaced over here. Not just -1. I can give any negative values, any negative value of my choice. It is going to behave in the similar manner. So this is something which is like a given inside a NumPy. So you can try to give any negative values, but yeah, so it will be able to reshape automatically. So I just have to like define rest of the parameters. So 1 cross 2 and yeah. But at the same point of a time, if I'm going to give maybe like a 5 over here, it is not going to work. So 5 cross 1, 5 and 12 divided by 5, again, it is going to give you a value into a floating point number. That is not going to work. It should be like it should be whole number basically, right? If I'm going to give 4, so 4 cross 1, 4 cross 1, 4, 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. So this will be considered as a 3. So as you can see, 4 row, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 column, 1, 2, 3 column, right? in which, so this is a reshape function, right? This is how reshape function is going to work. So you can reshape your data in any, means any dimension of your choice. That's completely fine. That's completely up to you. And you can even try to like give basically like this placeholders over here. Yeah. Now, so let's suppose I'm going to create one new array. So numpy dot array. And here, so I'm going to keep like a couple of values. So 4, comma 5, comma 6, comma 7, comma 8, comma 9, comma 0, comma 2, comma something like this. Let's suppose I have kept. Yeah. Now on top of this array, let's suppose I have to like, write a condition. Yeah. I have to write a condition. So how I will be able to write the condition? So first of all, let's say, so whether we will be able to do some indexing operation or not. So array of 0. So yes, from 0th index, I'm able to fetch the data. So I'm able to do an indexing operation, array, and then here slicing, let's suppose, start from 0 and go till 5. Yeah, I'm able to do that. So the way we have learned basically this indexing and a slicing operation in case of core Python, list, string, and all those things, similar thing you will be able to find out even with respect to array. Nothing different. Literally, nothing different means nothing different. Now, let's suppose if I have to write a condition, right? So based on the condition, it is supposed to do the filtration. For example, from this array, I would like to like, fetch all the even number, only even number, not an odd number, right? So I can try to write the condition. So what I can do, array, bracket, bracket, and inside that I can write a condition that if array percentile 2 is equal to 0, fetch me that data. So wherever this condition is going to be true, so it will go to every element, it will go to every element over here, right? And wherever this condition holds true, it will try to fetch the data. So I can try to even write a condition, and which is very, very easy, right? Which is very, very easy. Okay, Soeb is asking, repeat it again, sir, -1. Okay, I'll tell you. Let me repeat that -1 part. So let's suppose I have this array. I have this array, numpy.array. So let me print the shape of this array. Shape, okay. So shape is 16. So total 16 number of element I have. Now let's suppose I'm going to call basically array.reshape. Yeah, array.reshape. And I have 16 element, right? So maybe in 4 cross 4 dimension, I can try to arrange it, right? 4 cross 4 dimension, I can try to arrange it. 4 into 4 is equal to 16. So yeah, numpy dot, I can try to, uh, basically I can call a reshape, and maybe in a 2 cross 8, 8 into 2, 16, right? So I can try to even represent, sorry, not numpy, array dot reshape, and in 2 row 8 column I will be able to arrange it, right? Okay, now instead of writing this, let's suppose I have written 2, right? And I don't want to give a second dimension value, right? I can give -1. Automatically it will be able to understand that instead of -1 I have to use 8, by the way, if it is divisible, right? Similarly, even in a first place, I can try to do it. So maybe I can try to make it as a -1, right? And then over here, I can try to give maybe uh, like a, uh, 2 over here, right? It will be able to understand automatically. So what we are supposed to give as a placeholder. So basically one place can like a work as a placeholder in the whole dimension. And it should be a valid one, by the way, means whenever you are going to divide by the remaining like a shape, so it should like it should be divisible to the whole shape that you have or whole number of data that you have. Then only it is going to work. So this is just a placeholder, as simple as that, right? So -1 is behaving over here as a 8, by the way. Okay, so I was talking about the condition, right? So yeah, we are able to write a condition on top of this particular array. Now here, let's suppose we are going to call this array, and I would like to like, replace some of the data with something different label. So for example, wherever inside this array, right, wherever I have a value greater than 10, right, value greater than 10, so replace those values with some representation, maybe some label. For example, so here, there is a function called as numpy.where, right? Numpy.where. Okay, this example itself. So wherever things are divisible by 2, keep it even or else odd. So I can do that as well. So see, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd. So based on my condition, so it is able to label the entire data set. Simple, right? So it is able to label the entire data set as per the given condition. Very, very simple, right? So I can write like a variety of the condition, WHERE, variety of the condition. Let's suppose I'm writing if array is like, greater than 10, then it should give high, otherwise low. Keep it inside the string, low, execute. See, so wherever value is greater than like a 10, it has labeled that as a high. And wherever we have a value lesser than 10, it has labeled that as a low. Yeah, label that as a loop. So this is again another function, the inbuilt function, which is available to all of us, which is going to help us out in terms of doing a filtration operation, right? Filtration operation. So very, very simple, but yet very effective, like, a functionality you all will be able to see. So now many, many more functions I'm going to teach you, right? Many more functions I'm going to teach you going forward. But let's go ahead and let's try to learn some graph. Yeah. So graph.ipynb. This is the new file which I have created. So just create a new file and let's try to learn some of the graph. Yeah. So here, the very first graph library which I would like to discuss with all of you is a Plotly. Plotly is one of the very, very amazing library. So where it is going to plot a graph in a like a very amazing way, interactive way, you can say, right? Matplotlib and Seaborn is going to do the same thing. Pandas plot is also going to do the same thing, but it is not going to be interactive. So, and again, same thing you can do it. Yeah. So whatever you can do it in like a Matplotlib, Seaborn or Pandas, same thing you will be able to do it even inside a Plotly. To do that, first of all, you have to install Plotly. So pip install insta double L install, right? Plot Plotly. So everyone just try to install a Plotly. By default, it will not be available. And let me ping you inside of your chat as well. So yeah, I just pinged you guys. So just install Plotly, everyone, quickly. Fine. Now, once you are able to install Plotly, so let's try to uh, import this. Yeah. So import Plotly Express as PX, NumPy as NP, Pandas as PD. Matplotlib is not required, and then import maybe Plotly graph object as Go. So these imports are required after doing installation of the Plotly, and then let's go and create some sort of a data. Or let's take some sort of a data over here so that we will be able to do some sort of a plotting operation. Just confirm me, guys, once you are able to install and once you are able to import. If your import is working, no module name pandas. Okay, so in this environment, I don't have pandas. I will try to install it. So pip install pandas. Yeah. So let me know, guys, if this installation is working. Yeah. Okay, so now I'll go and I'll just try to do the import, and my import is working. It simply means that Plotly, NumPy, Pandas, and this uh, Plotly graph object is already available inside my particular environment. Now I can start creating a graph. Now where this graph is been used, so this graph you can try to use it, right? So this graph you can try to use it technically in terms of doing a lot of exploration with respect to data or to understand a trend inside a data set. This is where you can try to use a graph. Let me use a Titanic data set, a data set that we have already used it inside a Pandas classes. So this Titanic dataset is available even inside a library, or I can download it from a file. So there is a library called as Seaborn. So import Seaborn as SNS, and No, this module is not available. So I'll just try to install it. Not NumPy, Seaborn. Oh, okay, so Seaborn, just try to install it, guys, everyone. I'm just using a Seaborn to load my data. Inside a Seaborn, so they have given us a inbuilt tightening data set. I can try to avoid doing that if I don't want to import something from a Seaborn. So it's completely okay. I can go and I can try to read a data from a file that we already know, right? I have already done that in my previous class. So from a library SNS, so Seaborn dot load data set, and there are so many data set which is already available, by the way. So here I can try to load Titanic. So this data set is already available. See, this data set is already available. Same data set we have discussed. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, same data set we have already discussed. So inside Titanium dataset, they have inside a Seaborn library itself. By the time you are going to install it, by default they are providing you so many different kind of a data set that you can try to use it. So without even loading it from some library or some other library or maybe from some file system or from some URL. But yeah, so if we have to read a data from file, I think we'll know the approach. Pandas and then like a read CSV, read Excel, read JSON, whatever I want, I can read it. Let's try to store it as a data set TITANIC, Titanic. So I'm going to store it into a variable Titanic. Okay, fine. Now, so TITANIC Titanic dot head. So basically it is loading this data into a data frame format. Same pandas format in which I'm trying to load a data. So you can try to check this one basically. So type of basically Titanic. So it's a pandas. So by default, Seaborn is also loading data into a pandas data frame format. So nothing to worry. Everything is available as it is. So even if you are going to read a file with the help of pandas, you will end up reading a data into a data frame format itself. Yeah. Now, so here, how to see a data set inside a Seaborn. So maybe you can try to check a Seaborn official library and then they have already listed down all the data set name. So that is going to give you a list of that. They have something called as tips data set. They have something called as iris data set. They have something called as this tightening data set. So likewise, there are so many other different kind of a data set which is already available. So maybe here I'm using tightening. Going forward, I'll be using tips data set. Tips is also one of the famous data set, by the way. Even iris is one of the famous data set. Yeah. Okay. So here, what we will do basically, right? So we can try to plot a different kind of a graph out of this one, out of this data set, just to understand this entire a data set. Yeah, just to understand this entire data set. So we can try to use, and which library we are going to use. So we are going to use basically this plotly library. Yeah, we are going to use a plotly library. Now, now, so here let's suppose we have basically survived column, right? We have basically survived column. Inside survived column, I have 0 and 1. Yeah, inside survived column, so I have 0 and 1. So 1 means survived and 0 means not survived. This is what it means. We have a survived column. I would like to represent it in terms of a graph, right? That, okay, so this is a total number of survived. This is the total number of a non-survived, or like survived and non-survived. I would like to plot it as a graph. So how I can do that? So inside a graph, right? Any graph, not just this one, even inside a Power BI and Tableau. Power BI and Tableau is eventually not a just a graph thing. It is basically used for the reporting and dashboarding. And there is a difference, right? There is a difference, but even over there we are going to use a graph, right? And even in your Excel sheet we try to plot a graph. Even in your a PPTs and everywhere we try to plot a different kind of a graph. And again, even in news and the social media, so we try to see a different plots, graph, trends, and all those things. So these things are nothing new for us, right? Nothing new for us. So here my objective is to showcase basically a graph, so which is representing survived versus non-survived, right? So here I can try to plot maybe a bar graph. So px is nothing but a plotly alias, right? And then I can try to call bar over here. And then inside that, so we can try to say what data. Yeah. So Titanic is a variable in which I am holding all the data, right? And then I can try to provide basically a x-axis. So basically I'm trying to plot a bar graph, right? And I just wanted to represent survive. So here I can say x is equals to survived column name. I can try to give over here survived column name. Yeah. Now, so here let's try to store it as a figure. Yeah, figure variable. Now I can try to call figure dot show, and MIME type rendering require NB front, but it's not install. Okay, so there is a final data type issues. Let me fix that. Maybe I can try to install pip install NB front. NB format means non-binary format, by the way. This is the meaning of NB. I have already installed it. Install this. Restart the kernel. Okay, so kernel restarted simply means that I have to load all of this import I have to load again, data, then this one I have to load again, and then yeah. So this is something that we are able to load it. So here, as you can see, right? So I'm able to plot some graph, and it's a very weird one, right? I have basically called px, which is nothing but my plotly, and then I'm trying to call basically a bar graph over here, and then I'm trying to give data, and then I'm trying to give x is equals to survived. Yeah, x is equal to survived, and literally it is giving me a very very weird graph over here. So any idea, guys, how we can fix it? It is giving me now a graph nbm type, that is gone, the issue has gone. So any idea how I can fix it? So on a x-axis, yes, it is giving me survived. On y-axis, it is giving me a label is equals to indexes. Now let me show you something different over here. So here again, I have plotted a different kind of a graph, as you can see, right? Now, so basically it is telling me the segregation of this passenger age by class and sex, basically. So age is been represented on a y-axis, and then on a x-axis, so it is trying to represent a class. So third class, first class, and a second class. And then it is trying to represent by color. So male is basically like it is trying to represent male in a blue color, and then female in a red color. So this is again one of the graph that we are able to plot, and this graph is having a meaning, by the way. So what is the meaning that this graph have? So here we have three classes: first class, second class, and third class inside our data set, right? As per the Titanic passenger. Now, so if I'll talk about a third class, right? If I'll talk about a third class, so can I say that in a third class reservation of a Titanic, we had more number of I can say that we have more number of males which is available. Yeah, more number of males and less female. Now in a second class, I have less number of males and more females. In a first class, so again less males and more females. So most of this so only in third class we will be able to find out that yeah, so male is more and female is less. Basically, this is what you will be able to find out. And here, so this is a color representation. So now let me do some sort of a modification inside this data and a graph both, so that I can make it more explainable. So color, I'm going to remove it. Okay. Now let's talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that. So here, what we are trying to represent over here. So as you can see, my x-axis is equals to class. So my x-axis is representing this class column. This is the column, and how many number of classes we have? First, second, and third. Yeah, in a bar plot. So first, second, and third. This is what it is trying. Am I audible, guys? Everyone, can you please confirm? Yeah. Okay. So I think there was some network issue for uh 10 second, I believe. Yeah. Only for 10 second. Okay. Okay. Fine. So we got disconnected for 10 seconds, not more than that. Okay. So just focus on this particular graph. So what we are trying to do. So on a x-axis, as you can see, so we have a classes. So this is what we have given. X-axis is equal to class. And on a y-axis, it is trying to represent a age. Not just age, I would say. So it is trying to represent even a total number of a male. So we have approximate total number of a passenger basically. So in our here, so we have approximately 400 passengers, 400 plus passenger. Then here around 600 passenger, and for everyone, so we have a age. If I'm going to hover, right? If I'm going to hover my mouse from here to, or I think it is showing me a combination of a age. It's behaving bit weird. Let me change the graph, guys. It's not a correct representation. It's like showing me a total age, I believe. This bar is behaving in a different manner. No. It's basically trying to accumulate all the age and then it is trying to showcase. It's because this 400 is not a number of people, by the way. So this 400 is total, 400 plus is a total age it is trying to represent. Okay, let me do one thing. I'm going to change the data, by the way, because with Titanic, we have a lot of categorical values. So let me choose some data which is having a numerical value. So we can try to do SNS dot load data set. And then this is one of the amazing, because unless and until my data set is not sorted, it will be very difficult to, plot a graph. So tips is again one of the data. Let me talk about this data. So what this data set is all about. So we all go to a restaurant, right? We all go to a restaurant. So this there is a tips data set which is also available inside your SNS, and even it is available for a download over a Kaggle or anywhere, right? So you can go and download it. So here this tips data set is all about giving a tips. So we go to a restaurant, right? And there will be a bill. We are going to give a tips. You can be a male or female. You can be a smoker, non-smoker. So no yes, no yes, no yes. You will be able to find out. You can go to a restaurant on Sunday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, any day. You can go in a dinner time, lunch time, or maybe a breakfast time, right? and you go with the size, means basically in a group of two, or maybe alone, maybe a group of three, group of five, something like that. Yeah. So this data set is representing this kind of a statistic. So there are total 244 records which is available inside this particular tips data set. So where we have a total bill, tips, and all those things. Now we can try to derive lot of meaning out of this data set one by one, one by one. So by using a graph, obviously, we'll try to drive it. So first of all, load this data set, guys, everyone. This data set is more useful in terms of learning a graph. So I'm just pinging you this. Yeah. Yeah, even like Titanic will work properly, but let's do it with tips. Yeah. Okay. Now let's try to do a bar plot. So here, right? So here, let's suppose we would like to know that what was our average tip per day, right? What was the average tip which was given per day basis? So maybe on a x-axis, I would like to plot a day, and then on y-axis, I would like to plot a total tips, right? Total tips. So on Sunday, this is the total tips which was given on Monday. So in that way, I will be able to identify on which day restaurant people have received more tips. That's the whole objective. That's the whole idea. If we are plotting a graph. So here px dot, I can write a bar, right? Bar. And then here I can try to call my tips data set, not Titanic, TIPS, tips data set. And then on x axis, I can try to plot basically a day. Yeah. On y axis, I can try to tip, right? And yeah, let's execute it. So here you will be able to see a bar plot. And just by looking into this graph, I think we all will be able to observe, right? We all will be able to identify that on which day we are getting what tips. So can I say that on Saturday we are getting more tips? Yeah, as per this particular data set. So on Saturday, so we are getting more and more tips. So my x-axis is representing our days, and then my y-axis is representing basically our tips. I can try to even give a different color. So there is a color parameter and color. So I just wanted to give a different color based on the day. Yeah. So for every day, it should give me a different color. So maybe I can say color based on the day. So automatically it will try to give a different color to a different day. Simple, right? Simple. And here, so you will be able to see this segregation as well. Right? So Sunday represented by blue color, Saturday by red color, Thursday by green color, and then Friday by this purple color. As simple as that, right? Along with that, so maybe you can try to play with other parameters as well. So if I would like to give a title to this graph, which is this one, so tips by day, so I can try to give even title to this particular graph. So there are a lot of other parameters which you all will be able to see, or you all will be able to find out, and accordingly, so you can try to modify your graph, make your graph beautiful. The main advantage of using this plotly library is it's interactive. As you can see, I'm hovering my mouse, right? I'm hovering my mouse, and yes, on a hover of my mouse, it is able to render those values. Very, very simple. Along with this, so you will be able to use this zoom in feature, zoom out features, a lot of other feature they have given to you over here itself. You can even download that as a PNG, or even programmatically you will be able to save it. Okay, that's cool, right? Now, so here, similarly, so instead of I would like to know that on which day bill was more. So total, TOTL, total bill was a column name. So I can try to use this column. I just wanted to know that on which day bill was maximum. So execute. And then, yeah, so bill was maximum on Saturday. So it's a correct assumption, I would say, that on Saturday. So when bill is more, so obviously people are getting more tips as well. So this is kind of an assumption you all will be able to find out. Now here, I would like to know that basically uh, which time people are coming, and or maybe I would like to understand that what is a tip versus bill ratio, or what is the relationship between tips and bills. This is what I would like to understand. Do that. So let's try to like a call px, and there is something called a scatter plot. SCA scatter. Here I am going to pass my tips data, and then I can try to pass basically on a x-axis. I'm going to say it's a total bill. Y-axis, this one. And let me remove this color for now. So here I'm trying to plot a scatter plot. Scatter plot means, so on x-axis we have a value, right? On y-axis we have a value. So wherever you are going to hover your mouse, right? So you will be able to find out x versus y. X means total bill. This is what I'm representing. So total bill. And then on that day, what was a tip? So all this data point, it is trying to represent over here. Now, just by looking into this graph, so yeah, I can try to like assume something, that there is some relation. There is some like a sort of a linear relation we have inside a data set. And if bill is increasing, if my bill is increasing, then my tip is also increasing, right? And this is the highest one. So this is the highest bill, right? And this is also highest tip. So a person who have raised a highest bill, that person has even paid a highest tip as per my data set. So this is one of the, again, assumptions I will be able to draw just by looking into a like a data. So basically, this is the whole purpose. This is the whole idea behind plotting a graph. So if I have a massive data, and if I would like to find out some sort of a pattern between a data, so again, just by looking into those data, I will not be able to find out a pattern. So I have to maybe plot those data, and then this is where it is going to help me out, right? So total bill versus tips. Yes, I'm able to see a relation. There is some relationship basically, right? There is some relationship which I'm able to find out. Total bill versus tips. Now, so let's suppose I would like to differentiate all the color and size. So now, as you can, let me plot, first of all, show you the color, right? So here, as you can see, so if now someone is asking you a question that a person who have paid a highest bill and highest tip, on which day that person has came for a dinner or came for anything. So on which day? Saturday, right? Saturday that person came. So total bill was $50.81, and then tip was $10 basically. And that person was available on Saturday. So again, the color. So based on the different day, it will be able to segregate. It will be able to separate. So here, wherever we have a blue dots, it simply means that that customer came on Sunday, and then Saturday, and then Thursday, and then Friday. Rest of the day, no one has came, or maybe restaurant was closed basically, right? There is something called as size, right? So let's suppose we have people are going in a packs, maybe packs of two, packs of three, or maybe alone people are going. And color is representing a day. I wanted to use that size column. Size column is already available inside my tips data, right? Size column is already available. There is a size variable. So I'm just trying to give that. Now, if I'm going to execute it, so here this size is representing a pack size, right? So this is representing basically a pack size. So wherever we have a small, size is equal to like a one, as you can see, right? Size is equal to one. And yeah, so a person who have paid the highest bill and the person who have paid the highest tip, that person came on Saturday with three people in a group of three, basically, right? This is again one of the analysis we can try to take out from this particular data set. Very, very simple and interesting, right? And interesting. So likewise, it's not like a very tough, and yeah, so we can try to plot it, and then we can try to understand. Okay, now so let's try to uh, understand a distribution of total bill. So there is a graph called as histogram. Again, this is the interesting one. So histogram, and on tips data, total bill. Let me remove bins for now. Yeah. Now I'm calling histogram. Now what it does, right? So histogram is trying to on x-axis, right? On x-axis, so it tried to give you the range. Range of what? So here I have a total bill. So some people have paid maybe $10, some people have paid maybe $1, some people have paid maybe $2, $3. Now histogram is going to show you the scatterness of the data. So when you are going to call something on histogram, what will happen? So on x-axis, histogram is going to represent the range. So this to this range. And then on y-axis, right, it is representing the volume or frequency, you can say. So a person who have paid a like a bill between $0 to $5. So how many person we have such kind of person? These many, maybe it's like a one person, right? Person who have paid a bill between this to this range, how many person we have? 5%. Person who have paid a bill between this to this, how many person we have? 10%. So person who have paid a bill between this to this, right? How many person we have? 22 or 23 maybe in between, right? A person who have paid like a bill between this to this range, right? This to this range, how many person do we have? 30%. So basically, this is showing you frequency. Y-axis is showing you frequency. X-axis is showing you a range, a data distribution. Basically, histogram always try to show you a data distribution. It also tells you, and which I'm going to show you again inside the statistics class, right? A skewness into a data. So whether my data set is skewed or whether my data set is normally distributed, right? So basically, like histogram, very simple thing is on a x-axis, right? So distribution. So we have a data inside our data set where total bill is in between range of 0 till 51 or something, right? That was the highest bill, right? So 51. This is the dispersion of the total bill. Now in a small packet, a small range. So what is the a frequency? This is what we are trying to showcase. Now here, what I will do, I'll try to uh, call n bin basically. N bin is equal to 30. Let me keep it as 10 for now. Yeah. So 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, of like 40 to 50. So in this manner, it is going to create a bins, baskets, right? In this manner, it is going to create the baskets. And then it is going to show you the dispersion over here. If I'm going to keep number of bins is equals to like a 50, right? So it is going to disperse. It is going to basically create a long scale and then divide those number of bins. So it will be more dispersed, as you can see, which is eventually going to show you the skewness into a data set on your right hand side. Basically, this is what histogram is. So like I said, in x-axis range, y-axis frequency, or you can say count between that range. So how many values are falling between this to this range? This is what it does, by the way. Yeah, this is what it does. Now, so let's suppose in my tips data set, I have a male and I have a female, right? So I have to represent that how many males we have, how many females we have. I can just do a pie chart maybe, right? So here I can call px dot pie chart, yeah, pie chart, and on tips data set, by the way, tips data set, and here so name column wise, NAMES, I believe. Yeah. So name column wise, I can try to give basically a column name which is representing male and female. So which is nothing but a sex column over here. So I can try to pass it on over here, right? And then let's try to execute. So this is a male versus female. So 64% male is visiting has visited the restaurant, and 35.7% female have visited the restaurant. Simple, right? So this is a pie chart. Pie chart means this like a this kind of a basically chart. Yeah. Similarly, so we can try to even plot it for a smoker and non-smoker. So name is equals to what? Name is equals to smoker. So how many people was smoker, not a smoker, I can get it into a pie chart. 61%, 61.9% people are coming as a smoking is equal to no. And 38.1% people are coming into a restaurant. So who is used to smoke. This is what it says. Along with that, so maybe I can try to, plot this time graph as well. So time. So like 72% people are coming for a dinner time. And then 27% people are coming for a lunchtime. So maybe I have to prepare my restaurant, prepare my staff, prepare my food order and everything, more for a dinner time, because mostly people are coming for a dinner, right? So this is again another kind of a chart. So histogram we are able to plot, pie chart we are able to plot, scatter we are able to plot, bar chart we are able to basically plot. Yeah, bar chart we are able to plot it over here. So is it making sense, guys? Yeah. Yes. So likewise, there are so many graphs, and everywhere you will be able to find out all the graphs. Even if you are going to open up your, Excel sheet, if you are going to open up maybe Tableau, Power BI. So yeah, the only thing which matters is what kind of a graph, what kind of a statistics I'm looking for, and what kind of a information. Based on that, I'm going to select a different graphs, and then eventually I'm going to plot all of those graphs one by one. As simple as that, right? As simple as that. Now, so with the help of this plotly library, I'm able to plot this graph. Now let me show you a same thing with respect to even matplotlib and seaborn. Yeah. So matplotlib and seaborn, this is again just another library, right? Just like a plotly, but plotly is one of the best, I would say, because plotly gives you interactive kind of a graph, whereas matplotlib and seaborn, they are not going to give you interactive graph. I can use maybe a same data. Yeah. So let's move ahead. Okay, so let's try to do it with respect to Seaborn. Yeah, Seaborn. Same data I'm going to use it. So same like tips data I will be using, right, which I have already loaded. So here, let's suppose if I have to do a bar chart, right, in case of like a Seaborn. So I have already done an import of Seaborn. So let me do a Seaborn import once again. So import Seaborn as SNS, right? Seaborn is again one of the library, another library. Mhm. Now what I will try to do, so I can try to maybe do a bar chart over here, right? Bar chart over here with respect to a Seaborn. Let me find out its syntax. So here I can call SNS dot bar plot. So this is like this is the only differences you will be able to find out. Function name differences. So in case of like plotly, so I have used basically bar, only bar. So here there is something called as bar plot. Now here data wise, I'm going to give maybe tips data. Yeah. X axis is equal to day, y axis is equal to total bill. Hue, I'm not giving it for now. So here we are able to see this plot. And this is a very old style plot you will be able to see. It's not an interactive one at all. You can't even make it interactive. Right. Seaborn library doesn't support an interactive one. And if you are trying to plot a exact same thing on a plotly, right? That's the reason. So I used to showcase plotly first. So that when you will come to other library, for example, a pandas plot, matplotlib, and seaborn, you'll feel like why even I'm using it, right? So when I have a better option. So Plotly is relatively new library, not that new. So it is not now very, very old, but yeah. So in a beginning, this Seaborn, Matplotlib and Pandas plot was available. So people have started using it, but at the end of the day, it's just a library, which is going to help me out in terms of like doing those plots. Fine, everyone, making sense to all of us? Yeah. So bar plot, I was able to do it even in Plotly. And bar plot in my Plotly was relatively good, right? All these plots are relatively like very, very good in terms of Plotly. But here in terms of a Seaborn, it's not that great. Same goes with matplotlib as well. So even inside a matplotlib, there is all kind of a graph is available, all kind of things are available. You just have to pass x axis value, y axis value, and you will be able to plot a graph, right? Different kind of a graph. You will be able to plot it to understand or to get insights into a data. But my advice to all of you, go ahead with Plotly. Making sense, all of us? Yeah. What is the difference? Yes. So hope all of you are not going to like Seaborn or Matplotlib. I mean, like it does the same job. It's not going to do something different. Yeah. So job wise, it is exactly same. So just go and use Plotly. I don't know when I have published my syllabus why I have mentioned Matplotlib and Seaborn. Generally, like along with Matplotlib and Seaborn, maybe team has updated that by mistake. Generally, I like avoid writing Matplotlib and Seaborn, but I have when I have checked your syllabus back after publishing it. So I saw that there is something called as Matplotlib and C1, which was mentioned, which is not required when I know Plotly. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I will be using only one library, right? Not like all the libraries. Okay. So this is it from the graph side, guys. I'm going to give you a lot of tasks on this graph and just try to do those tasks. If you have any kind of a question, so please raise your hand. I'll try to clarify your like question. And tomorrow, so from tomorrow onwards, I think classes is going to be a bit longer. We will try to start statistics. Yeah. So statistics is something that we are going to open up, and we have again a huge like a chapters and a lot of topics inside the statistics inside a mathematical one. So we'll start discussing those statistics chapter. So any question, please raise your hand. If all of you are good, then we can try to wrap up a class for today. Yes, all good, everyone? At least you can ping me in a chat. Okay, so Kalpesh has raised his hand. Yeah, Kalpesh, go ahead, please.
Sir, I have installed Portly and I am trying to extract the data.
Okay.
मेरे को हो नहीं रहा. And I also I tried to install that import the num file also.
Fine, fine. Share your screen then. Share your screen.
सर वो मैंने दूसरा लैपटॉप से किया है. Just can you give me 2 minutes?
Okay, fine. You can join from that laptop. That's okay. Sanvita is saying, I joined today. VRCO setup not done properly. Please help me out. Okay, so maybe you can raise your hand. I can unmute you and then you can share your screen. Sanvita, I can help you out then. Yeah, so just raise your hand. I can move you to the panelist part so that you can share your screen. Are you able to see a raise hand option? Yeah. No? Yeah. So I'm promoting you as a panelist. Please go ahead and share the screen. Richa, okay, fine. Go ahead, Kalpesh. Yeah. So even you can move to a panelist. Yeah, Richa, what is your question or doubt? Okay. So first of all, Kalpesh, you can share the screen, then Sanvita. Yeah, Kalpesh.
Sir, you can
Hmm.
say it, right?
Not yet. I can't see your screen. So if you can share.
1 second. मैंने किया तो था. Let's 1 second.
नहीं शेयर हुआ है आपका स्क्रीन अभी तक वैसे
ओके ओके.
हाँ अभी अभी दिख रहा है
अभी
ठीक है
दिख रहा है ना सर?
हाँ हाँ
ओके. सो सी सर, मैंने ये आपने किया था, आपने जो इंस्टॉल
पिप
करने
इंस्टॉल
का
सीबॉन ठीक है ओके
आपने बोला था वो पहले प्लॉटली का वो थोड़ा गलत हो गया था यहाँ पे, तो फिर
अच्छा
मैंने अच्छे से किया.
हम्म।
नाउ दिस ऑल्सो, और एक बार मैंने पांडास भी ट्राई किया कि होता है नहीं होता।
एरर क्या रहा है, एरर आप दिखा दो बस।
और फिर ये मैंने ये सी बॉन है, वो सी बॉन भी किया, तो आई ट्राइड दिस
No,
टिप्स
no, no,
एंड।
no, no. So first of all, import Seaborn, right? So import Seaborn as SNS. From Seaborn import. Yeah. So first of all, import Seaborn.
अच्छा, इंपोर्ट करना है क्या?
हाँ, आपने तो लाइब्रेरी इंस्टॉल किया ना, बट लाइब्रेरी इंस्टॉल करने के बाद भी तो इंपोर्ट करना होता है ना, तो इंपोर्ट Seaborn as SNS। अभी अभी वो हाँ पॉपअप दे दिया है। दे दिया
ओके।
पॉपअप ऑटो कंप्लीट।
हाँ।
Seaborn as SNS। एज SNS मतलब कुछ भी आप लिख सकते हो उसकी जगह।
अच्छा,
एसएनएस
ऐसा
जस्ट,
नहीं।
हाँ एसएनएस जस्ट एलियास, आप अपना नाम भी रख सकते हो वहाँ पर। हाँ अब आप एग्जीक्यूट कीजिए 12 नंबर लाइक, इट विल
अच्छा,
वर्क।
उसको ये भी करना था क्या? ओके।
हाँ तो लाइब्रेरी आपने इंस्टॉल किया है ना, इंस्टॉल का मतलब है कि वो इन्वायरमेंट में फाइल आ चुका है, बट उसको यूज करने के लिए तो इंपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा ना।
यस सर, थोड़ा वहां पे था
एग्जैक्टली exactly.
कंफ्यूजन। एंड
हाँ
सर उसके
इसीलिए।
बाद, यस
हम्म।
सर।
नो नो, गो अहेड गो अहेड।
सर उसके बाद वो ऊपर एक वो नमपाई का भी था, तो वो भी नहीं हो रहा था, तो एक।
सेम सेम वही करना पड़ेगा, इंपोर्ट इंपोर्ट numpy एज एनपी। नाउ
ये
अभी
हो
आप
गया ना
अभी
सर?
हो गया, हाँ अभी आप करो वो वाला एग्जीक्यूट, उसके पहले वाला।
अच्छा, ये।
हाँ ये हो जाएगा अभी ये। हाँ वहीं कर दो, वहीं एग्जीक्यूट कर लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है,
अच्छा,
ऊपर
वहीं
चल
पे
जाएगा वो।
करूंगा तो हो
हाँ
जाएगा ना?
हाँ हो जाएगा। हो गया। अभी आप टिप्स कॉल करो तो डेटा दिख जाएगा आपको। TIPS। हो गया।
ग्रेट सर,
ठीक है।
ग्रेट।
सेम ऐसी नंपाई भी सेम चलेगा, मतलब पंडास भी सारा सेम। मतलब जहां भी आपको यूज करना है आपको इंपोर्ट करना है पहले।
देखिए सर, यहाँ पे मैंने ऐसे किया था इम्पोर्ट
एग्जीक्यूट
नंबर।
नाउ, एग्जीक्यूट नाउ।
यहाँ पे
फिर
एग्जीक्यूट करो ऐसा।
हाँ एग्जीक्यूट फिर से। हो गया ना अभी। फिर आप करो सेकंड।
कैसे हुआ सर ये? हाउ
वो
हैपेंड?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, आपने क्या किया, लाइक वहां पर नीचे में आपने इंस्टॉल भी तो किया है ना, इंस्टॉल किया है अब तो, पहले इंस्टॉल नहीं था, वो इंस्टॉल हो गया तो अब आप कर रहे हो तो अब एग्जीक्यूट हो गया। कुछ मैजिक थोड़ी ना हुआ है, वो तो इंस्टॉल करा, पहले आपका इंस्टॉल था ही नहीं।
क्या है मतलब,
और
क्या इंस्टॉल नहीं था सर, मेरे को थोड़ा
नम
सा।
नम नमपाई पैकेज।
अच्छा।
हाँ तो पैकेज इंस्टॉल नहीं था तो कहाँ से आएगा, मतलब कहाँ से वो आइडेंटिफाई कर पाएगा। ठीक है करो
मतलब।
करो, सारा एग्जीक्यूट होगा आपका, सारा एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा।
ओके सर, उसके बाद किया नहीं ना, वो हो नहीं रहा था, उसके बाद किया ही नहीं मैंने।
अच्छा ओके ओके ठीक है, ठीक कोई बात नहीं, सीट आपके साथ शेयर हो जाएगा, ये वाला जो कोड लिखा हुआ है आज का, एंड देन आप ट्राई कर लो आप फिर से। ठीक
सर
है।
एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, ये आप जो
हाँ
पैकेज बोल रहे हो नमपाई का, कौन सा पैकेज आप बोल रहे हो जो मैंने इंस्टॉल, ये वाला क्या आपने जो ये
हाँ,
अपना
नीचे में आपने किया
सीबॉन?
था ना कहीं पर तो इंस्टॉल, सीबॉन तो
सीबॉन।
एक है, नंपाई भी आपने किया था कहीं तो।
नहीं सर, मैंने नमपाई नहीं किया। मैंने एक
नम
ये किया
पहले
था,
से
पांडास
इंस्टॉल।
किया था। एंड
हाँ
उसके बाद ये प्लॉटली किया था।
नहीं,
तीन।
कहीं ना कहीं तो आपने किया होगा, देखो इश्यू तो वही था, मतलब नंपाई आपने करके शायद हटा के कुछ और रख दिया होगा वहां पर, बट किया तो है आपने देखो।
अब देखो ना सर, क्या किया थोड़ा मेरे को बता दो तो मैं।
नहीं कुछ नहीं कुछ नहीं, वही है, लाइब्रेरी इंस्टॉल अगर नहीं है तो वो इशू देगा, वो लाइब्रेरी इंस्टॉल है तो वो इशू नहीं देगा।
ओके सर, ओके।
और कुछ
ठीक
इशू
है
होता ही
सर।
नहीं है इसमें एक्चुअली, तीसरा।
ठीक है सर, मेरे को थोड़ा टाइम स्पेंड करना पड़ेगा इसके लिए। तब
एग्जैक्टली
वो
हाँ।
थोड़ा अंडरस्टैंड आएगा।
कोई बात नहीं, वो सब कुछ मतलब शुरू के दिनों में वो सारे चीज होते हैं।
थैंक यू सर,
ठीक।
थैंक यू।
हाँ थैंक्स थैंक्स। ओके सो रमेश, इफ यू कैन शेयर योर स्क्रीन,
Just
सो या प्लीज गो अहेड।
I'm sharing my screen.
या या।
Here I am. VS Code.
हम्म।
I'm.
No, Ramesh, I think I'm not able to see your screen, so you have not shared properly.
Let me stop and.
Yeah.
Are you able to see now, Sudhanshu?
Yeah, I can see your screen now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the issue that you're facing?
I'm not able to open the like this. It's not coming like this cell by cell.
Okay, okay. So give me remote control.
Yeah.
So first of all, you have to create a folder, right? Somewhere. And then inside that, you have to create basically file with the extension IPYNB. This
Okay.
is IPYNB. This is a Jupyter notebook file, right? And then it will come cell by cell. So now
Okay. Okay, now I will start
coming
working.
right. Yeah. So basically you can test it. 1 plus 1.
Yeah.
Cute. Install. Just wait for a minute.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so done. Yeah. So now you are able to get this output. It simply means that you will be able to do all the, I mean, like you will be able to get out all the outputs and you can do all the coding over here. Simple. Whenever you are starting, just create a folder. Inside that, create a like a IPNV file. As simple as that. Yeah.
Okay, Siddharth.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Ramesh. Okay. So any other question for me? If not, okay, there is no other question for me, by the way, for today. Okay. So fine, everyone. Okay. Manmeet has raised, anyone? Manmeet has raised his hand. No. Fine. So fine, guys. With that, thank you so much. See you again tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to start the stats topic as per your like a syllabus, right? And yeah, so today's recording will be uploaded along with that assignment will be uploaded. So please try to focus on your assignments. Do it as much as you can. So with that, thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Have a great night ahead. Thank you so much.